Hello, here's Michael.
And Sebastian.
We're in the band Impure Wilhelmina, and you're listening to the Brutally Delicious podcast with Bruce Moore.
All right, great. Hey, so thank you for joining me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
What's life like in Switzerland, or what'd you say, Switzerland, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What's life like in Switzerland these days?
These days, it's okay. The restaurants are still closed.
Is it?
Not everything is open, but it starts to come back again to normality.
Is it starting to get better?
Summer, okay. Yeah, it will get better until summer, maybe.
Are you allowed out?
We got it.
Are you allowed to go out and about, or are you kind of still quarantined?
No quarantine.
We're not in quarantine. We are free to go outside, meet people. There is a maximum of people we can meet, but we can go outside and have social activity. Michael is the founder of the band. So a lot of people, the band changed a lot. A lot of people playing the band change a lot, but Michael is the main man. He's the founder. It's his band.
Mm-hmm.
So the actual lineup is an 8 years old lineup, which is a longer lineup existing for Impure Wilhelmina.
That's the longest one?
Which is good, I think.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Did you ever imagine you'd still be doing Impure Wilhelmina for all these years?
No, I never imagined that. When I started, I was very young, and I said, "Okay, we'll do a band, and let's see where it goes." But I never thought that 25 years later I would still be there and making albums. Never thought. Yes.
It's pretty amazing, especially in the culture we live in, where things come and go. To find somebody who's still doing the same thing for that long and relatively successfully is pretty cool.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So the new record, Antidote, I guess it came out last week, right? Friday?
Yeah.
Now that it's
Friday,
out,
yeah.
How do you feel about it? Are you satisfied with the outcome? And is there anything you wish you could go back and change with it after listening to it?
So I think we are satisfied. We're quite proud of it. And of course, there is something we could do better if we think very deeply in the songs and so on. But no, we are quite really happy with that, and the feedback are really great until now. The reviews we read and so on, it's really amazing. So we're happy,
Yeah,
so.
and it's a 2 years process. It's so long. When you start the process, you cannot imagine how you're gonna feel afterward. But you know that you're gonna feel good, and I must say I feel much better than good that this CDs and this album is out. It's a great satisfaction for all four of us.
So the first thing I noticed, and I mean I know your bio says it as well, but listening to the record, it's very emotional, and I'm sure that's what you guys set out to do. Do you feel that it's a two-part question as well? Do you feel that it's super cathartic putting that kind of thing out, first of all, and second of all, have you had any stories of how it's connected with your fans?
So, you're right. A lot of people say it's very emotional, and it's the case because I'm the main writer of the band. I write the lyrics, the riff, the music, almost everything in the song. And I always try to be very connected with myself when I compose music, to be sure that it is really my emotion that I express. And all the process of the record that started 2 years ago, we made it lasts 2 years until we have the record, the release. So for me, what I wanted to do is the feelings I had at the beginning, how to let them go through all the process until the end, until we hear the music, and that's the main part I really have to take care of, and I'm quite satisfied because, for example, the other day we had a message from a guy. He said, "Hey, I'm suffering of social anxiety, And he wanted to say thank you to us because he said, your music, it helps me a lot. So that means, it's all right. It's what we try to do. Finally, we try maybe to help people with our music. It's good if we can do that.
It's got to be quite a feeling, though, right? Knowing that somewhere, something you wrote in your basement or your studio, wherever you are, in Switzerland, connects with somebody in the United States listening in their car, and you connect on a level that is deep.
That's amazing, and that's all what music is about. In fact, you have to connect with people that are through the music. That's very nice. If we manage to do this, it's a great satisfaction for us, of course. Yeah.
And you guys started writing before the pandemic. So how did these songs change, or did they change at all when everything hit?
No, because we recorded the main song for the drums, the bass, the guitar, the basic guitar, just before the lockdown, before the confinement in Switzerland. So it was in February 2020. So we already heard about this pandemic, but it was not a big thing. It started to be really important just after we recorded it. So, and then we did the voice, the vocals, and some additional guitars later in May, June, something like this. So of course we only was talking about this the situation, but the songs were already done at this point.
Gotcha.
So it didn't have some influence on the songs, in fact.
Yeah. There was some fine tuning, pimping of the songs with some post-production keyboards or things like that were inspired by our sounds engineer, which name is Yvan Bing. We call him Bingo Star. So we say hi to Bingo Star.
Nice.
We love him. And he is a sounds engineer, but he's also a producer. He took this role as a producer very intensely. He proposed us a lot of things. All things were good, I must say, but some things were not sufficiently connected with the emotion felt by Michael. So we chose some of their input from the Bingo Star, some we didn't. That's what happened in post-production.
Right.
Wow. And I must say, so Michael bring all the material, the musical material, the lyrics, all the stuff, and we, the other guys in the band, we are discussing that with him, and we make proposition, and sometimes we getting too far away from what was the genius inspiration.
Right.
And Michael is here to say, okay, guys, stop. Let's start it over because I think we're missing something here.
Right.
So he knows what he wants. We help him to get it, and that's it. That's how it goes.
All right. Yeah. So on top of the music being emotional, it's really dark as well. I mean, there's lots of darkness in it, which I see you smiling, so I know that was the game plan. But is there something you want your fans to walk away with after listening to an Impure Wilhelmina record, or this record, the Antidote, particularly?
Yeah, I'm listening to dark music. I mean, metal, gothic, and so on. Since I am very young, so it's really the music I like. So some melancholic, some sad stuff, the sadness and the darkness. That's what I like in music in general, and so that's what I express in my music, of course, because I think it is something cathartic. Of course, and to do that, but so I'd like to say all my dark personality. I try to put it in the music, but beside that, I try to be nice and positive in the daily life.
Right.
Everything dark in the music and the other stuff.
Just get it all out and then go back to living life.
Yeah. That's maybe it's a way to go to
deal with it.
But speaking of cathartic music, when you're listening to very sad music and you are sad yourself, well, it's very basic to say it, but it just helps you to feel better. And some people just forget that. Okay, you're sad, go listen to sad music. Go see a sad movie. Go cry.
Right.
For Christ's sake, cry. And then you come back better. Well, I don't know if it's a proposition of Impure Wilhelmina, but as I said before, I think a lot of people use our music in a cathartic way, and it helped them to feel better. And, well, I think it's good. It's the things to do.
Oh, yeah. Are you guys planning any sort of live stream events or anything online, or you got actual tours lined up yet, or shows, anything?
We didn't plan something like this. We had some shows in June, but they are postponed. Maybe we'll play in Switzerland in September, October, but we didn't have to. We didn't prepare something streaming and so.
No, that's maybe we're not ready to that. We like the old-fashioned, go on stage, play music, get drunk for those who drinks alcohol, and this is cathartic for us to go on stage. You know that every musician say that, yeah. And well, I must say I play music for the live, and I'm really happy that we're going to play again on stage in September, October.
Yeah.
First in Switzerland, and we hope afterward in France and Germany. We are touring in Europe, France, Germany, Italy, Great Britain. That's where we go. Sometimes in East Europe, but it's brand new for us. That's why we do music.
What's the metal scene like in Switzerland? I mean, I know Samael's from there, right? However you pronounce it.
Which band you say?
Samael or
Yeah, Samael. You know, but there are some famous bands from Switzerland like Celtic Frost, Coroner, Samael, the Young Gods. These are the dinosaurs, I can say, from Switzerland.
Is there an underground scene at all? I mean, a decent scene?
Yeah, of course. Well, in Geneva, there's a band called Knut. I don't know if you know them. Knut, they were signed on Hydrohead Records. Mm-hmm. They were active in the... They started like us in the 90s, and they were active for 20 years. Now they split. Now they're no more, but it was a great band.
Yeah.
And in Geneva, there is Nostromo. You know them, maybe? It's something very technical, very grindcore, but technical.
Right.
It's a very great band.
Yeah. Great.
They're still playing. They had this stuff for maybe, I don't know, 10 years?
They restart again, 5 years.
5 years, okay.
They started in the 90s like us, then they stopped, and now they're reborn again.
Yeah.
Then an album will be released, I hope.
Yeah.
So
That's
these
awesome.
are the bands in Geneva who are active. There are a lot of other bands, of course, but there's quite a good scene in Geneva, yeah.
So there are places for you guys to get out and play locally before everything else opens up.
Yeah, of course, but we were quite lucky with this situation because we didn't plan any show in the last year because we were recording. So for us, it's now that it becomes to be tough because we try now to book shows, but it's still not the right moment, and all the tours of other bands were postponed. So everything is already booked for the next year for us. We're trying now we are trying to find our place in all this mess, but it's difficult.
Everyone's struggling to do the same thing, find their place in this nonsense.
Yeah.
Do you have any? Did I miss anything that you guys want to cover?
We're sorry for our bad English.
No, that's no problem at all. I appreciate you taking the time. I really love the record. And I find it cathartic as well. It's great to just sit and listen to straight through and kind of just be in the moment.
Thank you, Bruce.
Yeah.
I don't
Thank you.
I don't think, and this is not in a bad thing at all, but I don't think it's the record you put on in your car while you're driving. I think for me, at least, it's the record I sit in my living room with a nice beer or a bourbon and listen to straight through. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because my wife will be okay with what you're saying. Bourbon and listen to Impure Wilhelmina. She loved that.
It flows very well, and I mean, I guess there's a lot of thought put into the sequencing, right, and how it goes together.
Yeah, of course. The first song and then all the sequence. We really were. It was well You really think about that, how to do the songs, to have a narration, really an album, not only songs one after the other, just a whole album, the narration.
And we didn't want filler in the album.
Yes.
So there is a few songs that we put out of the album because they were not, they were good, I must say. But no, they were not quite, it's not a question of well played or well composed, but most of the
mood.
The mood of the album. They were out of the mood. Yeah, that's good. Out of the mood. So there's some more. Maybe we're gonna publish them later as I don't know, singles or something like that.
I think, and I'm a little old school and probably a little older. Some of those older guys that you were talking about, but I think there's a lost art in the sequencing because people release like one song now, and there's no thought to like in the old days, and I hate to say that, but in the old days, you went to the record store and you bought an album and you listened to it start to finish just the way the artist intended it to be listened to, and it had a different meaning to it. It was an experience rather than downloading one song and listening to it in your car. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course. When I was young, I was listening to albums. You're right. And I think, if I buy some album, I listen to it. And the single was not really, I was never into this because when you listen to metal, for the single, it was always for pop music or something like this.
Yes.
Of course, I have this, for me, it's the important thing is the album.
Yeah.
It's, how the artist wanted you to feel the emotion and bring it up here and bring it down there. And there's a whole thing you can play with in the sequencing, and it's gone.
Yeah, of course. Now with streaming and so on, the young generation is different. They have a different approach to listen to music, of course.
It's very, very
but
interesting.
we are old school in that way.
Yeah, and I appreciate it.
Seven Sons of the Seven Sons. You know about this album.
Oh, yeah.
I know this album, yeah.
There is something. You can't just listen to one song of this album.
No.
It just makes no sense.
And
I must say, with Impure Wilhelmina, we try to build a story with our album. This is it, yeah.
And just as a fan, I will tell you it works because that's what I was saying. It's perfect to sit down and listen to, with a drink and listen to it uninterrupted for, however long it is. I don't know what it is, 40 minutes or something. And it's fantastic. So I think you succeeded there for sure.
But that's nice.
Thank you very
much,
Bruce.
You rock, my friends. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for taking the time. Good luck with the record, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
Be well.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye.